The data connectors we are using daily, like HDMI, USB and Ethernet, have gone through a lot of changes in order to minimize the used space, increase transfer speed and have as many functionalities as possible. Can you charge a laptop with a USB cable? Can you share the internet with the HDMI? Is an optical cable, an optical fiber or an electrical cable? Let's find out. One of the connectors that made it possible to have one universal serial bus to support a lot of platforms and systems is the USB. In 1996, a USB 1 was released and could transmit data at a speed of 12 megabits per second, with which you could transfer an average MP3 file within 2 minutes. It doesn't sound much, however now you can exchange big serial and parallel ports with a small USB type. But this universal connector has more than one type. There are B and C, and mini and micro, and AB cables, and 1, and 2, and 2.1, and 3, and 3.1 generation 1, and 3.1 generation 2, and sometimes it's hard to understand. Type A, B or C relates to the physical parameters of the socket. The numbers relate to the generation. Type A goes to the PC, and type B or C connects to the specific device such as a smartphone or a printer. Both A and B have 4 pins that include D+, D-, G and D, and power, 5V. The USB Type-C is a 24-connector system which can transmit between 5 to 20 gigabits per second. It can be plugged both ways. It can power up your laptop and it is much smaller. It all depends on the standard. Most of them are compatible with each other, however the transfer rate might be reduced. Or even worse, using the wrong USB cable can damage your hardware. Just a year before the USB 1.0 was introduced, the IEEE 1349 was published. Mostly done by Apple, it was branded as a FireWire. The difference between the USB and the FireWire back then was massive. And then, in 2008, Steve Jobs declared that FireWire was dead. The USB was much cheaper and it was royalty-free, unlike FireWire. It played a huge role in low-end mass-market computer peripherals. And then, in 2011, Intel, in cooperation with Apple, launched Thunderbolt, which is very similar to FireWire, but with much higher characteristics. The first two versions were using mini DisplayPort interface, which was supposed to be called Lightpeak. But why? Maybe it has something to do with the initial idea of using fibers instead of copper wires. In order to reduce costs and supply power up to 10 watts for other devices, Intel decided that Thunderbolt implementation would be based on copper. The first two versions, Thunderbolt 1 and 2, were able to support 10 gigabits and 20 gigabits per second. Similar to FireWire, Thunderbolt supports daisy chain up to 6 devices. So, if you don't have a lot of space on your Mac for additional ports, try it. The newest Thunderbolt 3 uses a USB Type-C interface. It can connect two 4K displays. It supports charging up to 100 watts and you can transfer a 4K movie in less than 30 seconds with the speed of 40 gigabits per second. This is all thanks to the combination of the newest protocols, which include PCIe, DisplayPort, USB and HDMI. With those features, you can take your laptop, connect an external video card and enjoy playing the newest games without having a massive gaming laptop. Wait a second, I'm not sure if you get it correctly. You might have got lost during the process, so my advice is to check whether all your devices are compatible with each other, there is no extra expense on you and there are no bottlenecks. All the mishmash makes me stressed. I've got an idea. Let's watch TV or play some game. But which port should I use? HDMI or DisplayPort? DisplayPort was designed by VESA to replace DVI and VGA connectors. The DisplayPort 1.4 can support video resolution up to 8K at 60 Hz, HDR, and a bandwidth of 32.4 gigabits per second. Of course, it has the option to daisy chain a few monitors, and it has several audio channels. However, the DisplayPort is very popular among gamers and graphic designers due to its high FPS and the option to daisy chain, which enhances your workflow dramatically. But if you are a simple Joe, maybe you don't need more than one display. Consider HDMI. Not all TVs have DisplayPorts. The latest HDMI doesn't have the locking system like the DisplayPort has. But it can support 10K at 120 Hz and it has got bandwidth of 48 gigabits per second. Anyway, HDMI is the most commonly used port for connecting your TV and projector to your PC or any other player. Just like any other standard, HDMI has evolved. Now it can transmit Ethernet and it has got enhanced audio return channel. Here you have a graph that summarizes all of the connectors so far. So now we hope that when you are going to buy a new laptop, TV or PC, you're going to pay attention to small but crucial ports and connectors. And remember, your media at home is going to work flawlessly with no lags whatsoever. Like it or not, make sure you subscribe. The next are coming. If you need more information, read the description below and have fun!